ready,
your
I
house.
guess.
You
Okay.
get to do what you want.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. And to Governor Shapiro, it is my great pleasure to welcome you to the Fayette County Community Action. My name is Kim Hawk, and I am the CEO of Fayette County Community Action. Before we get to the reason we are here today, I'd like to take a moment to welcome our local dignitaries, officials, and partners who have joined us. So I'd like to recognize Fayette County Commissioner Chairman Scott Dunn, Commissioner Dutch Kaufman, Senator Pat Stefano, and Uniontown Mayor Bill Gerke. Thank you. At Community Action, we provide services across 5 domains: aging, community development, employment and training, housing, and nutrition. I have seen firsthand the impact our programs have on strengthening families, empowering communities, and providing vital resources across Fayette County. We also work to provide tax filing assistance through the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance, which is VITA, and our tax counseling for the elderly, which is TCE programs. These are organized by the United Way of Southwestern Pennsylvania. These programs offer free tax return preparation to qualified individuals and to senior citizens. Taxes are prepared by trained volunteers who complete rigorous IRS tax law courses, ensuring accuracy and quality support for families. Last tax season, we had nearly 24 volunteers who filed over 1,100 tax returns. Since the program began in 1981, we estimate that we have filed more than 40,000 returns. We have seen firsthand how targeted tax relief can make a real difference for people, and we are grateful to the United Way for partnering with us on this program. We are especially excited about the inclusion of the new state-level Working Pennsylvanians tax credit in the governor's 25-26 budget. This tax credit will provide much-needed relief to hardworking Pennsylvanians right here in Fayette County and also across the Commonwealth. We are delighted to have Rose Comport here with us today. She's going to share her perspective on this new tax credit, so we want to thank Rose for being here. And Governor Shapiro, your leadership and your commitment to initiatives that directly impact everyday lives is deeply appreciated. On behalf of Fayette County Community Action, thank you for joining us today and for your continued dedication to the people of Pennsylvania. So now it is my honor to introduce Governor Shapiro.
Thank you, Kim. That was awesome.
Thank you.
You can leave it. Kim, thank you very much. It is so good to be here with you, and I want to just say thank you for welcoming me back to Uniontown and to be here today to get the chance to highlight your impactful work that you do in the community every single day. We appreciate you, and we appreciate, I know the people who appreciate you most are the folks who walk in your doors every day here in Fayette County and get the assistance that they need. I mean, you have really done the Lord's work. You help people keep their homes warm in the winter, put food on their tables, particularly now as I know so many folks are struggling. You help them train for a new job, and you do a whole lot more, including around tax season, where you help people, especially our seniors, fill out their returns free of charge. And so I just want you to know I am grateful for the essential work that you do, and I'm proud to be your partner in supporting working families all across Pennsylvania, and in particular here in Fayette County. I wanted to come back here today. I'm sorry I didn't bring the sunny weather with me, but I wanted to come back today to talk about the work that we collectively did in the budget to address rising costs that I know are being felt by families all across Pennsylvania. I know that he was acknowledged earlier, but I want to thank Senator Stefano for not just being here today, but for his affirmative vote on the budget. I don't know that you are aware of this, or maybe you are. Senator Stefano and I come from different parties, but we are here today in common purpose. We both support this budget. We both support the good things that it does for Pennsylvania. And we both recognize that compromise is essential in our democracy to make progress. And so I appreciate the fact that you are here today, Senator. We've had the opportunity to do a number of fun things together. We walked through Bedford together a little bit. We've done some other stuff. He made me look bad. He bought a very nice gift for his wife, and I got maybe not.
You bought one.
Yeah, but yours was really nice. But no, I appreciate that he is here, and I know that whether he's walking around his district or I'm somewhere else in the Commonwealth, we both hear the concerns of Pennsylvanians about rising costs. We know that it is on their mind. We hear it at the grocery store. I see it personally at the grocery store when we go there. And I think it's true in rural, urban, and suburban communities, and communities that vote for Republicans and communities that vote for Democrats. It's across the board, and I think we all have to work together to acknowledge it. I think we all also understand that federal policies have been the primary driver of a lot of these rising costs. The tariffs in particular have caused costs to rise, especially at the grocery store. But look, here in Pennsylvania, we don't dwell on what's happening in D.C. We focus on common sense solutions and getting stuff done here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania to help people and to help make life more affordable for them. That's exactly what my administration has done, and that's exactly what some of the legislature have done as well. I want you to consider this. In just my first 3 years as your governor, we have worked with the legislature to reduce costs and cut taxes 7 different times. Think about that. We've cut taxes 7 times over the last 3 years. For seniors, for families, for business owners. We delivered the largest targeted tax cut for seniors in more than 2 decades. Folks talked about it in Harrisburg for a long time. We came together and we got it done. We took the maximum rebate of the property tax rent rebate up from $650 to almost $1,000. We nearly doubled the number of people who were eligible. We raised the income limit to $46,520, and that's going to grow over time so no one gets knocked out because of a federal COLA. And understand, this isn't just theoretical. This isn't just something we're hoping for. This is real, and it is law, and it has positively impacted 522,000 seniors in Pennsylvania who have gotten over $319 million back in their pockets. We have also helped parents and families by tripling the child care tax credit, which puts money back in parents' pockets who are trying to afford child care. That's a big deal. I say that not just as governor, but as a father of 4. I know that child care is unaffordable for so many families. We're putting money back in parents' pockets to help them afford child care. Again, not theoretical. This is real. 220,000 Pennsylvania families got $136.5 million back in that child care tax cut last year. We also, for business owners, created the employer child care contribution tax credit so they can contribute to their employees' child care costs and be able to do that tax-free. On top of that, we're helping Pennsylvanians who chose to go to college by being able to deduct their student loans now off of their state income taxes. Again, another tax cut to benefit Pennsylvanians. And we've cut the corporate net income tax each year I've been in office, 3 times, which has saved businesses $1.5 billion, allowing them to invest more in their employees, their product, or what have you. And to make it easier for small businesses, which are the lifeblood of our economy, we've increased what's known as the net operating loss, allowing them to deduct more losses and reduce the risk for their small businesses. So whether it's seniors or families or our businesses, we have cut taxes and we've put money back in people's pockets. And that brings us to why I'm here today. Because in this budget that I just signed into law, we added another tax cut to put money back in the pockets of Pennsylvanians who are working, cutting taxes for them, reducing costs for them, putting more money back in their pockets. The budget that I just signed builds on all the work we've done and allows these working Pennsylvanians to now get what we are calling a working Pennsylvanian tax credit worth $193 million. Again, that's going to go back in the pockets of Pennsylvanians who are working. This is another thing that folks in the Capitol have been talking about for years and years and years. We came together, Democrats and Republicans, and we actually got it done. And the Pennsylvanians are the big beneficiaries of this. This tax credit is actually a percentage of the federal earned income tax credit. So now every single Pennsylvanian who qualifies for the federal earned income tax credit will now qualify for a state earned income tax credit as well. All you have to do is file your taxes, and you can do it right here and get your relief. Our team actually created a calculator for Pennsylvanians to go on and figure out how much they will save under the new Working Pennsylvanians tax credit. Head on over to pa.gov/WPTC. And I want to be clear about something. This is not a giveaway. This goes to people who are working, who are trying to make ends meet, who are trying to put food on the table, who are doing all the things we ask of them, but they need a little bit of extra help. And this tax cut is an important way to give them that added relief. And again, not theoretical, this is now law in Pennsylvania. Let me explain how it's going to impact everyday Pennsylvanians. The single mom who's raising 3 kids and making about $25K a year as a waitress, she can get $770 back on her taxes. The grandmom who had to go back to work, working a minimum wage job at the local grocery store, and she's raising a grandchild. She made about $15,000 last year working at the grocery store. That grandmom is going to get $443 back in addition to whatever other tax relief she qualifies for. Or how about the dad who makes $40,000 a year while mom stays home with their 2 kids? They're going to get $514 back in their pockets as a result of this tax credit. Again, working Pennsylvanians who are doing everything right, who just need a little bit of extra help. Well, now they're going to get that help. And a whole lot of Pennsylvanians are going to get that help. 940,000 Pennsylvanians now qualify for this tax credit. And this isn't some tax credit that you have to wait years and years and years to get. Next calendar year, you will be able to get this credit. So it'll be for this tax year, and when you go file your taxes in January, February, March, April, whenever you file them, you will qualify for this tax credit and get the relief next year. That is a big deal, and that's concrete stuff. Fayette County alone, 11,943 of your neighbors qualify for this tax credit. Again, a big deal and real relief. To me, I'll just say this in closing, a budget isn't just a whole bunch of numbers on a spreadsheet. I know your commissioners understand this, certainly the senator does. I think it's a statement of your principles, of your priorities, of your values, of who you value. And to me, it's about incorporating the needs from people from all different walks of life, rural, urban, suburban, incorporating the needs of all Pennsylvanians who need a little bit of extra help just to get by. And for us in Harrisburg, it's about finding common ground. I know that compromise tends to be a dirty word in our polarized politics today, and it's true. I don't think people should have to compromise their values, but we've got to compromise to get stuff done. And we've proven that again and again and again in Harrisburg, that we can actually come together, Democrats and Republicans, and get stuff done. I wish it would have happened quicker, Commissioner. I know, I think we all wish it would have, but the fact is we came together and we got meaningful things done for Pennsylvanians. We reduced costs, we invested in people's future, from schools to more police to economic opportunity, and I believe as a result of our collective work, Pennsylvanians are better off. You're going to have folks who are going to walk through the doors here at this Community Action Partnership, and they're going to be able to get more tax relief. They're going to get more money back in their pockets to be able to afford those groceries that cost a little bit more, to be able to keep the heat on, to be able to care for their grandchild. Heck, just to be able to get some presents around Christmas time for their families. That's a big deal, and that's something that I am incredibly proud of, that here in Pennsylvania we can work together to get stuff done for the good people of our Commonwealth. And with that, I am proud to now introduce Rose Comport. She is a nutrition assistant over at Fayette County Community Action. She is also an EITC recipient, an Earned Income Tax Credit recipient at the federal level, and now as a result of our new law will qualify for our new state tax credit. And so Rose, it's my pleasure to introduce you now to say a few words. Thank you for being with us today. Thank you for your work, and we got your back. Thanks, Rose.
Well, hi, everybody. These are some big shoes to...
You're good. You're good.
Okay.
Put our pants on the same way.
So I feel like there's a big misconception with spending for people that are struggling. A misconception that we don't know how to manage our money. And the truth is, we've learned to spend responsibly to the extent that we're practically at expert level for bargain shopping. So spending responsibly definitely helps us push through everything that we need to day to day. It's all good until suddenly, bam, hammer to the piggy bank. I'm on my way to work, and a stone hits my windshield. And as I'm driving, the split is just, and at first I'm thinking, okay, 6 inches, that can possibly be repaired. That's not going to be so big. But yeah, it's like right in front of my face, right as I'm pulling into work. So, fun expense there. My children have health insurance, but my daughter, who has epilepsy, the insurance company had some kind of glitch, and they weren't covering her life-saving medication. So it's a no-brainer. I didn't know how I was going to pay for gas for the rest of the week to go to work, but my daughter needed her medication. So another unexpected emergency that, was no way to fix it other than emptying my pockets, breaking that pig bank again. Refrigerator goes on a brink. There goes my food. You can't exactly rent a freezer space in aisle 9 to store your groceries while you're figuring out your refrigerator situation. You got to get it repaired. Savings are practically obsolete right now with all the rising costs of things. So it's forcing us to live paycheck to paycheck. Emergencies have a far harsher impact when we're already endeavoring, battling to keep up with the cost of just surviving. We're spending responsibly, but still fighting to keep up with the costs of gas, groceries, medical care, utilities, personal care. We budget for our children's clothing and such, but it never fails. You think all is good, you finally got caught up, and your child gets up in the morning and their shoes now hurt their feet, and so you got to go shoe shopping all of a sudden and replace them. I've been beyond thankful for the earned income tax credit. It definitely helped get my head above water, saving me from drowning in financial distress. The working tax credit will pull so many of us out of the river of financial crisis altogether, rescuing us from deep despair. I can say that I am proud to be raising my family in Pennsylvania, a state that listens and understands the concerns of struggling working families, and it shows it cares by taking action like we're seeing today. Of course, investing in families is investing in the future. I'm thankful to Governor Shapiro and all others responsible for making the working tax credit possible. This has been a time of darkness and tremendous suffering for so many of us. Thank you, Governor Shapiro, for bringing light and hope to working Pennsylvania families who are in need.
Thank you. Thank you. That was beautiful. I want to bring up now Commissioner Scott Dunn, our leader here in Fayette County, for a few words. Commissioner?
So first, I want to thank Governor Shapiro for coming to Fayette County and Uniontown and to Community Action to make her announcement today. And we did talk a little bit about the budget impasse. It is not lost on us that you were a county commissioner, and so I'm sure you felt our pain as we moved along, but we got through it. So it's also not lost on us that this announcement is being made today at Fayette County Community Action. Senator Stefano, all 3 county commissioners, we sit on this board. I'm proud to be the treasurer of Fayette County Community Action. And we get to see firsthand the positive impact that this organization makes in our community, and it's thanks to the funding that we receive, and it's also thanks to our dedicated staff, many of whom are seated out here as well. So we get to see it firsthand all the time. These cuts mean additional funds in the pockets of Fayette Countyans, which will be spent locally and help churn our Fayette County economy. These key investments help feed our children and our seniors and support childcare. And one of the things that you guys might not realize is childcare is often the biggest deterrent to employment for somebody who is poor or struggling financially. So as we work in Fayette County to build a new future through business attraction, and expansion through a renewed emphasis on higher education and a focus on our housing needs. The governor's earned income tax credit can offer a buffer to us until we get to where we as a county want to be. So thanks again, Governor, and we really appreciate you coming to Fayette County.
Thanks, Commissioner. Thank you. I know I spoke about him earlier, and he needs no introduction. This is his hometown crowd here, but I do want to acknowledge again, in our politics today, how hard it is to find common ground, how hard it is to bring the parties together, and I'm grateful that Senator Stefano supported this budget and is standing here today to endorse this really, really important measure. It's going to help a whole lot of folks. Senator?
Thank you, Governor.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Senator Pat Stefano, good to see you all here. And I am a proud board member of the Community Action, so we do see firsthand what the issues are across the county, but a lot of us knew this already. But I wanted to highlight and thank Governor for coming together and working with the House and the Senate. What do you do when the middle is too far for both sides? And that's what was happening. It's very difficult to bridge that gap. And I say it's not just that Pennsylvania might be red or blue, but Pennsylvania is very diverse. What the needs are in the Northeast are completely different than what our needs are here in the Southwest. So you get all these people in a room and you try to hammer it out, and it's just very difficult. So on behalf of the legislature, it took too long for that plane circling the airport, but we were able to finally, with your help, Governor, to be able to land that plane and get the budget going, because it was hurting everyone. And they say the art of compromise is making both sides a little less unhappy. You gotta think about that for a while. If you're both gonna come out a little grumpy because it didn't get everything that you want, and nor should it be. We're too diverse of a state for that to happen. But there is this component, this working Pennsylvania tax credit, that I wanted to highlight. One of my colleagues, Linda Culver, this has been a passion of hers for years. She was in the House first, she's in the Senate. But as a local note, she's married to Tom Culver, who was my neighbor, and we went to school together since kindergarten. So this is a local connection there, but this is the program she's been working on, and it's called ALICE. It's the Asset Limited Income Constrained Employed. And I want to emphasize employed. That's what's critical, because that's what we need as a government. That's what we should be doing, giving that hand out and hand up to those that are already working, that are part of the workforce, and just need a little bit of help to get up over the edge. That's what we're here for. That's what Community Action does. We're trying to break that cycle and get everybody back on track and be heading to higher skies. We'll use the airplane reference again. So I'm just excited that we got that part in the budget. That's done. We look for great things to happen, because you heard the numbers. Just here in Fayette County alone, over 11,000 people will be benefiting from this. So this is good. There's a lot of other components in the budget that we're very excited about. Some of them we're not. And this is the one thing we were talking about at another press conference. We don't agree with every line item, but there's some things we do agree on. So let's focus on the good things and what we agree on. Let's not focus on all the negative. So thanks for being here to understand a little bit more about what this tax credit does, what we look forward to in the future. And thanks again for coming and supporting Fayette County. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Senator. Thank you. I'll take some questions from the media, but I just wanted to pick up on something the Senator said. He referred to the tax credit as ALICE, and he is correct. It's also the state earned income tax credit and the working Pennsylvanians tax credit. That is sort of the name we're going with, the latter. After we all agreed, I don't think I'm telling tales out of school here, after we all agreed to do this as part of a compromised budget, we then had a discussion over what do we actually call it? Because some people refer to it as ALICE, some people refer to it as EITC. We ended up with working Pennsylvanians tax credit, but the ALICE initiative that the Senator's colleague was working on is exactly this. And whatever name it goes by, it's going to be real relief for 940,000 Pennsylvanians, and that's a big, big, big deal. And I'm really glad to be here in Fayette County to celebrate it with all of you. So with that, if there's any questions from the media, Stefano agreed to answer all of them, and we'll go from there.
there being insecurity in federal programs such as SNAP and, you know, other talks and things like that, how much did that emphasize the importance of having this in this year's budget for Pennsylvania for the next year to give them some boost when there's maybe some doubt in those programs?
Yeah, look, I think there's a lot of unease at the federal level, both the way they're driving up costs and the way we've just learned with SNAP being suspended, that safety net that the feds have sort of always, you know, promised is not necessarily going to be there. And so we did a number of things on a bipartisan basis together. One, we got this Working Pennsylvanians tax credit in law and in time for this tax year, so people can benefit from it right away. And when it comes to food, for example, I was just over at the Westmoreland Food Bank, you know, about 45 minutes or so from here, an hour from here. We increased our state funding for food programs by 40%, because we understand how important that need is right now. So, look, I can't control what happens in D.C. We can work together to control what happens here in Pennsylvania, and there was absolutely an emphasis on making sure we put money back in the pockets of people who are working, who are struggling to get by, and those are two examples, this tax credit and the increased funding for food assistance. Anything else?
Just wondering, did the tax credit itself, was the size of that just consistent at all, you know, from its original conception, or did that change? Was it boosted at all in response to, you know, the sense of what Pennsylvanians were undergoing with the budget impasse and the federal shutdown?
I mean, we never had this tax credit before. So the conversations that we were having was about, hey, can we put together a bipartisan consensus to get it started? And then what should the number be? How much money can we drive out? How many Pennsylvanians can qualify? And we worked through those issues. I would say candidly, it was less about, you know, other factors and more about what could we afford at the state level and what could we get enough votes for in the House and Senate on a bipartisan basis to get the bill to my desk.
Speaking of the impasse, what is being done from your office and at the state level to help counties like Fayette, Westmoreland, and numerous others around the Commonwealth that are still kind of dealing with the repercussions of the interest rates and things that came from the impasse and the furloughs that happened while that was going on?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm a former county commissioner. I understand the challenges when you're a county government, when you're a school that's waiting to get the money that you're expecting. And I think we all agree it took too long. I wish the legislature would have stayed in session and worked through this and didn't delay as long as they did. But the fact is we got a good product at the end of the day. And county, school districts, and others, nonprofits, are going to be the beneficiaries of that hard work to stay at the table and find consensus. I think we did a good job with all the competing interests to meet the needs of counties. I recognize that during that impasse, some of them may have incurred interest costs. We don't have the authority to pay down that interest, but I do believe that based on all the money that is going to them, that should be able to get them through this, and hopefully we come back next year. Leaders in the legislature get started earlier in the process, and they get a budget to my desk on time. Anything else? Okay. Thank you all very much. Thank you.